How do you get rid of parasites? I've spent tens of thousands of dollars and about 7 years of my life trying to figure out the answer to that question. I was trying to get rid of parasites in my family of 4, specifically 2 young children who I knew had them, and I figured if the kids had them, the adults probably had them too. So first off, given that we had young children, we tried homeopathic, herbal, and holistic approaches. We tried various ones over the course of about 5 years. Here's a quick list of what we tried. Homeopathic, Sina, Ledum, Undas, Paracord, Parasolve, NET remedies. Herbals, we tried black walnut, wormwood, garlic, papaya, pararid, DE, grapefruit seed extract, and also some of those in various combinations and formulations. Zapper, yes, we even tried the Hulda Clark Zapper. Light therapy, energy methods, Reiki, acupressure points, meditation, chiropractic, acupuncture, osteopathic, and anti-parasitic foods in therapeutic doses. As you can tell from this list, we spent a long time and a lot of money. Unfortunately, none of them really seemed to work. What happened was with some of the approaches, we saw our symptoms go away for maybe a month or 2, and then we saw the symptoms return, usually stronger. Dr. Simon Yu, an MD in St. Louis who diagnoses and treats parasites, says that all of these methodologies of treating parasites actually push the parasites deeper into the body. After 5 years and tens of thousands of dollars and no real permanent success, I have to kind of agree with him, unfortunately. So even with 2 young children, I decided to move to the next level. And the next level for us, what we finally figured out, was our successful treatment, and I'm going to go through an overview of the steps really quickly. First step is enemas. Starting with enemas is actually really important for getting worms out whole. It's much better to get worms out whole than it is to break them up with medications and then excrete them. The reason is that worms actually accumulate hundreds of times of the amount of toxins, metals, bacteria, and viruses that we do in our body. And when you break them up, they release that into the body. And then you tend to have symptoms, you feel sick, you maybe get some viral or bacterial infections, so you really want to try and get those worms out whole. And the best way to do that is with enemas. And yes, I even did enemas on my 4.5, 5-year-old child. So enemas are important to start with for getting worms out whole. Probably about a month or so after starting the enemas, I would start the Calcar protocol for worms. You can find that straight off the internet. He has a whole protocol of some herbs and medication, and he times them with a full moon. So the one thing I want to note about the Calcar protocol is that after a few months, our worms actually got smart and switched from the full moon to the new moon. So you may want to monitor for that, and you may have to switch your Calcar protocol from the full moon to the new moon. How long does that take? Well, Andreas Calcar recommends his worm protocol takes about 12 to 18 months. My opinion is that it's a little longer than that, probably more like 2 years. So that's number 2, the Calcar protocol. Number 3 on the list is additional parasite medications. What do I mean by that? Well, the Calcar protocol and enemas mostly go after worms. They don't do much for protozoan parasites and also for flukes. Flukes, in my opinion, are a really big deal. If you have flukes, you want to treat them. I've had a significant boost in my health by getting rid of flukes, and I can't emphasize that enough, how much better I feel after getting rid of flukes. So there are videos and details on the website about exactly how we figured out which medications to take, which ones we took, how to dose them, and in what combinations. So those additional parasite medications are number 3 on the list. Number 4 on the list is gallbladder liver flush. We did this after every round of medications for about the first 4 months. The idea with the gallbladder liver flush is that it helped flush out any dead flukes or worms that had died but hadn't been excreted. So this gallbladder liver flush was pretty important for getting those out. After the first about 3 or 4 rounds of medications, we only do gallbladder liver flushes about once every 3 to 4 months or as needed. For the first couple months of rounds of parasite medications, we felt pretty sick. We had symptoms, we were lethargic, our vision varied, we had all kinds of crazy symptoms, really feeling pretty sick. After about round 4 or 5, we started feeling pretty great and normal, even though we were still doing rounds of medications. In my experience, for worms, for flukes, for protozoans, it takes 1.5 to 2 years if you've had the infestation for a long time. In our case, I'm sure I've been fighting it for a good 5 years that I've been aware that we've had it, and in hindsight I've probably had flukes for most of my life, even though I was born in America and have hardly traveled very much at all. So parasites, a big deal, hard to get rid of. Unfortunately, we don't have many practitioners diagnosing or treating parasites, which is why I'm making this video. All the details, all the information, everything I've learned is on the website. It's all for free. It's at debugyourhealth.com.